What's up? Sammy here. We're going to be continuing our dissociative disorder mini-series and talk about dissociative identity disorder, or DID for short. Now, at one point, DID was known as multiple personality disorder. However, no research had been done on it. They just saw people, quote unquote, acting differently in different situations and going by different names, having different characteristics, and therefore they had basically multiple personalities in a single body, and they just went with it. Now we've done more research, so this name change kind of reflects that. And DID is basically characterized by the presence of two or more distinct identity or personality states, which means someone can have only two personality states, or they can have over 100. Now, how it kind of works: when we're born, we don't have a distinct identity or personality. But once you hit about the age of 5 to 9, you kind of start figuring out who you are, what you want to do, where you want to go, what you like, what you don't like, all of the quote unquote normal things. Now you take that same normal scenario and add in some form of trauma. Kind of throws a wrench in everything. And because of that wrench, there's now a problem. But with it, not everyone who has trauma around this age will get DID. Just like how not everyone who goes to war develops PTSD. People experience things differently. People handle situations differently. People cope differently. And this is no exception. For some people, the only way for them and their minds to cope is their mind to split or fracture off from itself. Many explain it as an amnesia wall will separate the child from the traumatic events. And if it's repeated, the child will dissociate into another state of mind. That child has no memory of this trauma at all. But this quote unquote new part that was developed on the other side of that wall, that is the part who experiences all of the trauma. Now, how can someone not know they have DID? I mean, wouldn't you know if they had multiples inside their head? Okay, as a headmate, I can tell you that our host had no idea. None. Because of a friend of our system, they helped Lilith to figure it out, put pieces together. However, again, they had no idea, and that is part of DID. It's why we talked about dissociative amnesia and the depersonalization and derealization first to help explain it. That amnesia wall is basically dissociative amnesia. They dissociate out of the situation, and one of the parts or alters or headmates will take over to handle whatever that situation is. Now, one thing that I will say is that you can be someone who experienced trauma during that age and split off, get out of that traumatic experience, not have any more trauma until they're 30. And because of that new trauma, they can split again because they are not one whole cohesive identity. In the opposite way, someone who did not split off during that age, they grew up, had quote unquote normal childhood, did not split off. They are one cohesive identity. If they are 30 and went through some terrible things, they cannot just magically develop DID. They can't. They are one cohesive thing. Now, due to the complexity of DID, we will have a mini-series specifically for it and also for OSDD, as these two things can sometimes be confused for one another. A lot of this has to do with the fact of we don't want to talk for hours on end and have you zone the fuck out and literally forget everything we talked about. So just know there's going to be a mini-series. And that's it. Tune in not next week, but the week after, and hear us continue our series. Peace out, bitches.